Is it better to be feared or respected? And I say, is it too much to ask for both?
One of the reasons the MCU has been able to thrive for over a decade is because the people making the movies are able to bring the best out of the characters that they have been playing. These characters came straight from the pages of the comics to the big screen for our entertainment, and while some have made a bigger impact than others, each character has played his or her part well enough to make the MCU a true steamroller. Despite all of the contributions made by the characters so far, there are some that we would prefer to fall by the wayside. These are the MCU characters who are not returning to the big screen anymore. But before we get into the video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel with notifications turned on, so you don't miss any of the new videos we post. What is the MCU? The Marvel Cinematic Universe is an American media franchise and shared universe centered on a series of superhero films, independently produced by Marvel Studios and based on characters that appear in American comic books published by Marvel Comics. The franchise includes comic books, short films, television series, and digital series. The shared universe, much like the original Marvel universe in comic books, was established by crossing over common plot elements, settings, casts, and characters. Characters who are possibly being left out for now. Though they contributed during the first 3 phases of the MCU, there's a chance they won't be needed in the next phase. Sure, they have their fans, but it may be time to move on. Since the original script for this video had been written, there have been some changes. Watch to find out which of these characters will in fact be back. Everett Ross as Black Panther. We have gotten to see Everett Ross appear in several MCU films, most notably Captain Marvel. While Ross has had his moments and has made some interesting MCU contributions, there won't be too many people losing sleep if he is only mentioned in passing as the franchise moves into a new era, while the death of Chadwick Boseman will probably be honored. Everett Ross will not be back. Of course, the long game for Marvel has always been to have Letitia Wright's Shuri take on the mantle of Black Panther from her elder brother, that much we know, and it seems that this will be happening as soon as the upcoming sequel, Dormammu from Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange was one of the most unique MCU movies when it debuted, and one thing about the film that people loved was that there were multiple antagonists in the film. Dormammu was a true force in his own dimension, but after Strange bargained with him, it may be best to keep him away. Anyway, Dormammu is trapped in an endless time loop. We all know those are impossible to escape from, don't we? Sharon Carter. So, the obvious thing to point out here is that the new Marvel timeline makes this character's existence a bizarre one. Given the confusion of time travel, no one is sure of what to make of the kiss that Sharon Carter had with Captain America. This is more than enough to keep her away. Or is it? On one hand, we know a lot of MCU fans like a surprise, and especially if the surprise is the stunning and great actress Emily Van Camp. Is she truly out though? On April 23rd, The Falcon and the Winter Soldier wrapped up their first, and for now only, season. Among other characters' return and surprising debuts, the show brought back Emily Van Camp as Sharon Carter. So, is she truly out? Well, probably. We find no evidence to show otherwise. Is Mariah Hill done? Mariah Hill has had some impactful moments in the MCU, and we have seen that she has the respect of the Avengers and those that have worked to save the world. Despite this, she has never been a primary player, and it may be best to put her on ice going forward. On November 12, 2020, Screen Rant reported, the uncompromising and ruthless Mariah Hill is one of Marvel's most iconic S.H.I.E.L.D. agents in both comics and the MCU, but that doesn't mean she's untouchable. In fact, the Avengers liaison has just been killed off in the comics, with the deadly villain Taskmaster the prime suspect for her murder. That means the end for Mariah Hill, and Kobe Smulders, who played her. The Grandmaster has already lost his power in Sakaar. Thor Ragnarok was the film that flipped the script on Thor, and made him one of the most loved characters in the MCU. The Grandmaster played a major role in that film, and he was ruling Sakaar with an iron fist. Now that he's toppled, there's no point to bring him back as far as we can figure out. Then again, MovieWeb reports, is Jeff Goldblum making his return to the Marvel Cinematic Universe in Thor: Love and Thunder? There's at least some evidence to support the idea that Grandmaster, who Goldblum played previously in Thor Ragnarok, will indeed be suiting back up for the upcoming sequel. Though to be clear, this is far from confirmed at this point, and the presentation of this evidence should not be taken as confirmation. The point is, nobody seems quite clear on this, but his name does not appear in the credits of Love and Thunder, and on the Internet Movie Database, Goldblum is busy working on half a dozen projects, and none are Love and Thunder. We think it is safe to say that, at least for Love and Thunder, the Grandmaster has left the house. Harley Keener's Endgame appearance may have been his last. Harley Keener may seem like an obvious choice to some, but then again, did anyone expect to see him appear in Avengers Endgame? Keener played his role in the MCU to perfection in Iron Man 3, and while he could come into play again, we think it's best to leave him behind. It is also confirmed that none of his upcoming projects include any role in an MCU movie. Kraglin is an unnecessary character. To be fair, Kraglin is a funny and lovable character that fans do like to have in the MCU. However, he has never been a primary player, and his lack of presence in both Infinity War and Endgame would seem to prove that the MCU does not need him moving forward. Actually, that's not true. The lovable character is currently filming in Thor: Love and Thunder, and is set to act in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 as well. Therefore, the rumors of his disappearance from the MCU are just plain wrong. We will soon be enjoying his presence yet again. All hail Kraglin. Pepper Potts. Even though she has been around since the very beginning, it is time for Pepper Potts to hang it up. Yes, she has been a mainstay in the MCU, and yes, she has donned the rescue suit. However, she deserves a quiet life with her daughter now that Thanos is gone. It's a shame that Pepper has to go, but she, Gwyneth Paltrow, has no upcoming roles in any MCU projects, so we are reasonably sure we will not be seeing her again, for at least a while. Who knows what the future of the MCU has in store for us? Howard the Duck, thank God. Howard the Duck popping up in the MCU took people by surprise, and it gave many the impression that the character might get a movie or a series down the line. While this is not the case, in general, it would be best to leave his small MCU role in the past. I mean, maybe I just don't like him, but does he honestly fit in the MCU universe? The Collector. The Collector has a Disneyland ride, which we think is more than enough. The Collector did pop up in multiple Marvel movies, and he even has his own ride at Disneyland. While he has been eccentric and interesting to watch on screen, we don't see a reason why he should come back. He has no Infinity Stones, and the franchise has moved on. I mean, he's almost unknown, so why even make any fuss about him? Helmut Zemo. Yes, Baron Helmut Zemo took down the Avengers, and should stay behind bars. Fans of the MCU know that Zemo is still out there, as he was merely locked up and not fully taken out. He may still make an appearance given how he tore apart the Avengers from within. We, however, would prefer to see someone else get their chance to shine in the future. Anyway, Daniel Bruhl, who plays the Baron, is not busy or scheduled to appear in any future MCU projects, so he is gone. Betty Brant. Betty Brant is a minor character that doesn't have a great purpose, or so we thought. Spider-Man: Homecoming was the first Spider-Man film in the MCU, and Betty Brant has gotten to appear in both of his films. She has been kept to a minor role so far, and we do not see why she should return. She doesn't offer much, and it's time for Spidey to move on. Do you agree? Actually, the actress who plays Betty Brant is Anjali Rice, and we would prefer to see her back, and she will be back. She has acted in Spider-Man: No Way Home as Betty Brant again, and the film is in post-production. Is she destined to play a bigger part in the future? We will have to wait and see. Thunderbolt Ross. Thunderbolt Ross has done enough in the MCU, hasn't he? As the MCU marches into its next phase, Thunderbolt Ross is someone that needs to be kept in the past. He has had his hands in more than one MCU film, and his presence has diminished over time. At this point, we think fans would not mind moving on and seeing fresh faces. I think we got this list mostly right. There are some great characters in the MCU that will never go away, but there are some that we will not miss. Leave a comment and let us know who you think we left out, and tell us which characters' return we got wrong. Thank you for watching. Be sure to return for more videos, but until then, take care.